Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And of course, good morning, mini Motorways. Let's go to Mexico City for today's daily challenge, where some colors will always be circles and we won't get a single traffic light. That'll be fine. Plenty of round boys on offer this morning. Figure we'll be doing more roundabouts than usual, which of course means it's ever so slightly more likely that we encounter a rat-like, but you know, it's fine. It's all fine. Maybe, as speculated in the quote there, the rat wife will turn into a rat-like, which would be bad, because rat wife is a roundabout that will inevitably fix everything, but I digress. Is it possible to digress from your first conversation topic? World may never know. Speaking of things the world may never know, the world may never know why these pinks decided it was a good idea to do this silly thing. So let's run you here, and then you there, and we'll do that. And we have, amazingly, 1, 2, 3 pinks going here, and 1, 2, 3, now 4 pinks coming in here. It should actually be fine. Will it actually be fine? It remains to be seen. It's a little bit dicey, TBQH, but let's pretend it'll be fine. Speaking of things that'll be fine, hey, you remember how you used to be able to go through a weekend, like a span of days with no work, and come back to work on Monday morning and not have experienced a matter of national history that'll be that in a good universe will be discussed and analyzed for decades, if not centuries, to come? It's nice. I vaguely remember that. We're 0 for 2 on those recently. 0 for our last 2. We're in a bit of a slump when it comes to, you know, getting through a weekend without a matter of national history being discussed or happening or something. But anyway, so Joe Biden's not running for re-election. That's fine. It's good. As a person who very much doesn't want Donald Trump to be president again, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's good, because, you know, it wasn't looking good there for a while. And Kamala Harris is not exactly good, but, you know, she's probably competent. And right about now, I'm of the opinion that anyone who's definitely competent can beat Donald Trump in an almost fair election. And the good news is that, as previously stated, Kamala Harris is probably competent, and we almost sort of have kind of almost fair elections in this country. So, you know, if I'm being ever so slightly more pessimistic than I should be, she's got this in the bag. Which, okay. And then, you know, here we stand, looking forward to the days where we can say President Kamala Harris, which, I mean, well, let's not focus on that right now. Maybe that'll be fine. That's at this stage of the game, we're going to call that a good problem to have if we wind up having it, which there's certainly no guarantee we will, but, you know, again, we'll see. Good problems to have, and all that jazz. I don't have any, like, there's been a lot of back and forth in the whole time between when it became clear that President Biden was cooked and when he ultimately decided not to run for re-election, and he released a letter yesterday, and based on the reporting I've seen, that decision was finally made sometime between Saturday night and when the letter came out. And where was I going with this? Oh, right. There's been a lot of back and forth among people who don't want Donald Trump to be president and people who do want Donald Trump to be president and people who don't care because they're going to be fine either way, but are in it for the horse race aspect of it. And that's, you know, I feel like a lot of the analysis in the mainstream is coming from that last point of view, which is certainly a point of view one can have if your life is so safe, insulated, and luxurious that you can view American politics as spectator sport. Well, good for you. Go blue team, I guess. But, yeah. Anyway, let's see here. These yellows are going to come down this way. We're going to draw this lovely road like so. We'll get a fourth yellow on there. This fifth yellow, dang it. Well, okay. I want to get this fifth yellow in. The most efficient, the easiest thing to do would just be to hook it up this way. But I think what I actually want to do is a slightly more efficient thing. So we're going to redraw the yellow part of this, and unfortunately we are going to have to kill this whole ass tunnel. So this yellow circle business might get a little bit mad at me for a second here, but it should basically be fine. One hopes. Let's find out. Give me a motorway. I don't think I can motorway from here. Oh, I can motorway from here down to here. Okay. Well, the fact that I can motorway from here down to here means that the wait for that tunnel is not as bad as it otherwise might have been. And now, what we can do is cut this yellow road such that it's a little bit more efficient getting through here. And in turn, that's going to send more yellow cars to this yellow business in a reasonably efficient manner. So that's nice. Let's run this beige right here, and then this beige here. We'll do that. So the two of you serve that, the two of you serve that. Everybody be proud of me. I've got 2 roundabouts and I haven't used a single one of them yet. There's a very important word in that sentence, but we'll get to it. Hello, orange business. You have an orange house, conveniently directly adjacent to your face. So you can do that. These yellows here appear to be handling their new tunnel pretty well. These purples are doing okay with this business, which is about all that you could ask for. I could draw a road to get this yellow to the southern entrance of this double plaza, but road tiles are a little precious right now. Give me a tunnel and 20 more of the aforementioned pieces of simulated asphalt. Simulated asphalt is also when Billy Gunn screws up in a video game, I think, maybe? Joke might not be entirely reasonable, but we'll deal with it. Let's do this. We're going to put this purple on this road because it's a fairly long and winding trip to get down here, whereas the 2 of these purples can just hop motorway number 1 and get down this way. I think that's a little bit more reasonable than any other plan. Of course, as soon as I say that, we get another purple house to spawn, so here. 3 purples for this business, 3 purples for this business. Everything should basically be fine. Ish. You know. For some reasonable facsimile of fine. I want to thank Circle Master and Fishingworth for coming out and being part of the FTL stream this past Saturday. It went fairly well, had a good time, played a couple of runs, didn't get horrendously far. Then I played a little bit more off-stream over the weekend, and let's see, the thing with FTL is I got to the final boss, and in order to progress really at all in FTL, you need to develop a way to handle missiles in order to defend your ship from missiles. Basically, there's one way, really, You know, for a game that's all about, you know, randomness and you never know exactly what you're going to get, and we want to build it such that there's a whole bunch of viable ship paths and you can build your boat however you like, that sort of thing, there's one way to deal with missiles, and that's to have a defense drone. And, okay, fine. So you've got one and exactly one way to solve the biggest problem in the game. And a defense drone can handle one and exactly one missile at a time. So the final boss of FTL throws 6 missiles at a time at you, which feels mean, but okay. And did I mention that it also has shields? And not just any shields, like most ships have shields. Your ship has shields. The final boss's shields have like 4 little protection pips, which means in order to get through the shields, you have to, you know, ping them for, you know, bing, 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 you know, all of those right in a row just to get through a little bit to maybe damage the shields and then actually do some real damage to the ship, which, okay, fine, whatever. And then, as if that wasn't enough, you eventually, after you beat the ship, it has a phase 2, which, I mean, it's the final boss of a video game. It should have a phase 2, or at least it's reasonable for it to have a phase 2. The concept of a phase 2 is not necessarily the worst thing. The worst thing is that in phase 2, it has, once again, 6 missiles at once that it's throwing at you, which, incidentally, you can only stop one of at a time if you happen to have been lucky enough to find the one and exactly one way to deal with an enemy ship's missiles. And then, on top of its, you know, 4 pips of shielding, now it has a bunch of defense drones on its own. And it doesn't have like 1. No, it has 8. So what I'm saying is I lost to the final boss of FTL, and the crew of the Kestrel 19 met their horrible, untimely demise, and as a bonus fun part, there will not be a Kestrel 20. I am pretty disillusioned with FTL, but, you know, it was fun for a week and a half. And then, in other video game news, I started playing Balatro. Because listen, if I can't be addicted to one random thing with a chance of winning, if you get a combination of lucky and skillful, I might as well play fake poker. It's not really fake poker, but it's kind of fake poker. It's also a lot of fun and feels. You know, the key word might just be feels, but it feels a lot more skill based and like intentional in its design and its, you know, applications than FTL does, which is good. It's a good thing. I'm not opposed to RNG as a concept. I'm not opposed to randomness as an idea in a video game, but it really felt like FTL, you needed to get lucky, like really lucky, in order to have a chance. And in Balatro, yeah, you need to get lucky, and you can certainly get unlucky. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to build, you know, a deck and a strategy and a path with each hand, you have a chance and a plan. And those are both good things to have. But that's me. Now then, let's see here. Give me another tunnel. This beige here is a circle. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna point this. Yeah, we're going to point you up here. And then, actually, we're just going to do this whole thing exactly the same way, but we're also going to run this extra house down this way into here. And that should be fine. This yellow business has a fookload of dudes. It's the geographic term, a fookload of dudes. We've got beiges here. Totally fine. Boop. And boop, and boop, like so. So the 4 of you service that. You go up there, you go up there. The, what is this, 6 of you service that. This green here has just gone circular, which, not the best. What do we want to do about that, I wonder? I think the answer lies in maybe these greens down here. Could I... If I could group these together, maybe there's a way to... If there's a way to cut this corner here... Hold on. I think I might be onto something. If there's a way to cut this corner here, we can have all of these greens right here hop motorway number 2 and swing into the entrance of that business. That then in turn frees up all of these to do this. So now we have 7 houses going here and 6 houses with a motorway going here. Okay. You know, I don't hate that. It's a little convol wonky, but I think it'll be okay. Now, this purple business here, I could, now that there's like one fewer road going through here, it makes a little bit more sense, I think, to do this. I'm gonna take back a tunnel, and instead, we're gonna have ourselves a roundabout. And that roundabout is gonna be right here. You're gonna enter from the northwest, you're gonna go down out the southeast, and over here. Meanwhile, these 2 pinks are going to join these 2 pinks in potentially serving this business, which is nice. It'll let us have a 4th pink house for this business. You, on the other hand, are now a circle. So, there are 2 ways to handle this. I kinda want to run a pink road down around here, roundabout here, and go up there. But my concern there is that these yellows would then take it upon themselves to try to service this business, which I don't think I want necessarily. Let's do this instead. Might wind up doing that, but we're gonna have all of these yellows here. Boop, 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 like so. Right here, we're gonna draw motorway number 3 that approaches this business like so. And that means we've got 4, 7, 9 yellow houses. 9 yellow houses on motorway number 3 go straight into here. That should be lovely. Then, if we take these like so, what we can do is place a roundabout here. Boop, boop. And now these 5 yellows are going to join with these pinks to provide support for this business here. Okay. Not necessarily the worst or best thing in the world. It is one of the things that exists. That is certainly what you can say for it. It is one of the things that exists. Okay. This green business here got a little anger wonky, so we'll toss another house on it. Give me a motorway, thank you. Okay, so now it looks like the majority of the work for this plaza is coming from down here, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that the majority of the work for this plaza would come from down here because these yellows are so much closer than these yellows. That's basically fine. let's take these pinks here. I'm going to have these 3 pinks just kind of glom on this way, get a little bit more pink support going here, and having these pinks closer here means less pressure on this roundabout, which is good. And of course, it just means more houses, which is also more better. More houses, more better. Let's go with that. You yellows come out here. You go there. You yellows, of course, was the main antagonist of Final Fantasy X, ultimately. It's spoilers for Final Fantasy X, but you'll figure it out. Something just happened. What just happened? Ah, there's a beige here. I don't like that. Not a fan. Let's, first of all, have these yellows avoid dealing with that beigeness. Next, let's have all of these beiges here. You know what? I think I want to refuck all of these. We'll have motorway number 4 come down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beige houses. Straight shot motorway should be fine. Next, you are a 4th beige house for this business. That's okay. We have a tiny little gap through which we might thread doot like so. Doot, doot, and doot. 1, 2, 3 beige houses into this beigeness. Okay. So in addition to getting frustrated and quitting FTL and picking up Bellatro and chopping up some videos and getting them ready for YouTube, another thing I did this past weekend was I sent a slightly frustrated voicemail to my homeowners association, which is a fancy way of saying the condo board. I don't know. Is homeowners association fancier than condo board? I have no idea. So basically, they have this, piece of paperwork that you're supposed to fill out that basically says who's living here. And according to them, I didn't turn mine in on time this year. Which, okay, fine, I probably didn't. And according to them, I owe them $25 for that. Which, all right, fine. I got a piece of mail Saturday that contained the, hey, you didn't pay this. You owe us $25. But it was dated May 21st. And in that same envelope was another letter saying, hey, you didn't pay this, you owe us $25. And because you didn't pay us the $25, you owe us 25 more bucks.
Let the record show that this viewer was here first.
Hulkamat was here first. Thank you, Hulkamat. Good morning. I hope you are doing well. So I got another piece of mail, another piece of paper in the same envelope that said, hey, you didn't pay us the $25 you owe us. You owe us 25 more bucks. That was dated June 1st. In that same envelope was a third piece of paper that said, hey, you didn't pay us the $50 you owe us. You owe us another $25. And that piece of paper was dated July 1st. Now, it is entirely possible. In fact, I will concede without argument that I probably didn't turn my registration in on time. And therefore, there are bylaws to that effect, which I signed when I bought my condo, which there probably are, which I definitely did. I owe them $25. I think it's a little silly. And I know for a fact that I did not get anything in May, June, or July saying, hey, you owe us 25 more bucks. Until this past Saturday when I got in the mail 3 different letters that ultimately say I owe them $75. I would rather, I would, not necessarily happily, but, try to be a good member of the community and live by the rules and all that. Sure, fine. I'm happy to pay the $25 because after all, it's my own damn fault. I'm the one who fucked up in the first place. I think it's a little silly for them to wait, apparently, or for somehow 3 months to go by, and then them say, oh, by the way, you haven't paid us in 3 months, you owe us $75 now. That feels a little much. That feels a little harsh. So, this past Sunday, yesterday, I left a voicemail. This is all very low stakes stuff, you may be noticing. The point is not the story. The story is the setup. So I left a voicemail that basically said, hey, listen, I'm happy to pay this $25, but I never got any notice of owing the $25. So I don't think it's my fault, and I don't think I should have to pay $75. I'm happy to pay $25. I'll do that right now. I left them a voicemail. And because it was Sunday, nobody's gotten back to me. I expect that someone will call me today, which means that for the last, 18 hours or so, I have been dreading confrontation. Yay. If there's one thing you should know about the _Goog, which isn't terribly surprising, it is that the _Goog dreads confrontations. Which means, and I don't know if this is related, it might have something to do with, the constant pace of world historical events that keep fucking happening in my country. But, in part because of dreading confrontation. I went to bed last night at 9:45, and for some god-awful reason, my brain decided I was fully awake and ready to go face the day at 2:45 this morning. Which means I woke up at 2:45 this morning and could not get back to sleep, and indeed have not been back to sleep. It's fine. It's fun. It's good to live like this, one assumes. Hulkamat says there was a period where a collection agency was trying to get you to pay a copay for over 2 years, and you had already paid the copay. Ooh. This American healthcare system we got here is not necessarily the greatestest. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but the healthcare system in this country is just a wee tad fucked. Just a wee tad fucked? I think that's a fair and accurate way to describe the situation we got going on here. Speaking of situations we got going on here, and for that matter, things being just a wee tad fucked, this yellow business is angry, this yellow business is angry, this orange business is angry, which, I've got 809 oranges here. I don't necessarily need all of them, but it would be nice if, say, some of them weren't just a wee tad fucked. What if we say, I don't even have a motorway here, but, imagine a world in which this wasn't, say, just a wee tad fucked. So, here, give me a motorway. Now we can make it ever so slightly less fucked. Here, motorway number 6. Here, you point south, actually. Motorway number 6 is going to go straight over there. That's going to be fine. It's going to be fine and dandy and ultra good ski. There. Okay. Is everybody else happy? Or at least reasonably, vaguely satisfied adjacent? Are you satisfied adjacent? I don't think you're satisfied adjacent. I think you might be lying. Alright, you come over here. You know what? This silly little yellow hook, you silly little yellow hook yourself over that away, and then you go down here. We have passed, apparently, the number of hits Derek Jeter had in his MLB career, which, good for Derek Jeter, I guess. Let's toss more beige into here. This roundabout is possibly being a little bit rat-likey, but, we don't have to mention that. These yellows, like so, swing down this way, take care of that. That'll be nifty. Here, let's do that instead. Okay. Has everything calmed down? No, not everything has calmed down. This green is, okay. This green here is still mad, but we can pour more greens at it. This green over here is mad, and I don't have a similarly effortless response to that problem. Give me a tunnel. Okay. Other than this green, everything appears to currently be kind of okay-ish. Like, there's a lot of work going into that sentence, but it's kind of okay-ish.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, big stretch. Oh, big stretch. Ow, my brain. Okay.
Everything's on fire, and I don't know what to do, so we're just going to put more caffeine in my water drink, and it's going to be fine. Get fucked, Pete Rose is a good sentiment to have, really, in any venture. Anytime you, as a business or a person or an organization, can have as one of your central ethoses, anytime you can say get fucked Pete Rose, it's a good time. Get fucked Pete Rose, really. May well be the title of the episode if I didn't try to avoid profanities in episode titles, which, I mean, makes sense to me. I am not even trying to salvage this. It is pure ant farm at this point. So, here, I'm just kind of vaguely pointing things at things and waiting to see what falls apart. We're very close to 5,000, but we're also very close to everything collapsing into oblivion. So, there's that. Hey, we got up over 5K. That feels good. 5,024 commuters over 106 days. There have definitely been worse scores in the world. It is number 13, in fact. Number 13, top 2%. Unless Samurai Sam is 11 or 12, we might be dropping. Yes, indeed. Let's drop those GGs in the chat. Beat Sam by nearly 900. Victory and triumph for me, the _ Goog. Hooray. Very happy about that. Let's bring in our very good friend, the Wordle. Hulkamat has to go to work, which, I mean, it's like July 20-something, and Hulkamat is a school teacher. Seems weird, but okay. Have fun, Hulkamat. Have a good day. Try to stay out of the hot. It is so very hot. Good morning, Samurai Sam. Matt has a summer program. Okay, that makes sense. Matt, you might get baked. It's not going to be baked because that's the ED version of a 4-letter verb, but, you know, we've learned some things. It could be fader. You know, the little bar that you use to decide whether, okay, maybe not. But we now know where the D goes, which... Sorry. Shouldn't, Just gonna note that where the D goes is the title of the episode, and move on with our lives, I suppose. It's not gonna be Madu, because after all, that is not a word. It's not gonna be ladle, because that's not how you spell ladle. It's not gonna be anything adle, really, because I don't think that's, it's not a, there are no words that do that. Could be cadet. Could absolutely be cadet. It's cadet. Hey! I got the Wordle in 3. Hooray! Good Wordle performancing. Down goes the Wordle. Let's draw some connections. Okay, so we have a pyramid, a cone, a sphere, and a... Well, let's see here. A pyramid, a cone, and a sphere are all three-dimensional shapes. A triangle is not. So... domain, fiddle, and barrier. None of these are obvious three-dimensional shapes, so might be time to back away from that. Maybe come back to that later. Can't help but notice that a recorder and a triangle and a horn and a fiddle are all musical instruments. There we go. Sam says area, field, domain, and square? Which... How? I don't understand. And sphere, rather. I mean... Oh... Sphere of influence. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at like area and field, and I can see domain as being like, this is what you do. But yeah, area, field, domain, and sphere. These are all words for bailiwick. That's what they are. Yeah, realm of expertise. There you go. Okay. That makes sense. Now then. We can have... questions. Can definitely have questions. We can have a fight club, a fight song. All right, let's see here. Cone, pyramid, flag. These all can be triangle adjacent, but not necessarily. Triangular flag is a pennant, but also a flag. What is this thing going for? There could be a flare gun, but... Well, you know what? A flare, a cone, a flag, and a chain. Actually, hold on. Flag, chain, barrier, and cone. These are all things that you would find at, like, a flag football field or... Oh, food blank. Food fight, food processor, food pyramid, and food chain. Sam is absolutely right. Yep. So cone, flag, barrier, and flare, these are all things that you would find at like a track meet or a flag football game or youth soccer or that sort of thing. Or they're things that are used to redirect traffic. Okay, that's completely and totally different. But we still got there. We still got there, sort of. Let's make some strands, shall we? We have to make waves for today's theme. Is it surfing or anything like that? Kayak? Actually, I do see kayak. Hold on. There's kayak and canoe. I think this is just, what, rafting or river travel or that sort of thing? I see ridge. It's not necessarily correct, but I also see... Oh, I thought I saw rapid, but not there. Do I see rapid anywhere else? No, there's only one I. So it can't be rapid. John Cena is not present, so well, we never know if John Cena is present because you can't see him. But also, I don't think it's Rapidu, so... It's a question. What is she here? There's just board, which, I mean, you can wakeboard or surfboard or boogie board or paddle board. There's all sorts of boards. Actually, hold on. You can paddle board. Never mind. That's totally there. So the spangram's got to go up to down, which makes sense. I see raft. Okay. Oh, watercraft. There's your spangram. Right there. So, let's try to get everything else first. Which might be easier said than done. But yeah, no, I don't see it. So let's just eliminate some more letters. Make it easier to see. There's watercraft, there's their spangram. We need 3 more words out of this thing. I think I see dinghy. Okay, there's dinghy. Apparently there's a dory, which is also a boat. I thought it was just a stupid fish. And then there's gondola. That is our last word. We have made strands. And you know what? We've got some time, and I enjoy doing these. Here's the New York Times mini crossword puzzle. It's a tiny little crossword puzzle. It's going to be done in like a minute or less, hopefully significantly less. We'll see. All right, world capital with the museum, Rome, probably. Console for Halo is the Xbox. Number of degrees in each area of an equal. Hurt my head. Inflatable bike part is a tire. Spot in Congress is a seat. Prescriptions are RXs, in memoriam pieces are obits, spunk is moxie, and then this has got to be 60 just to fit the thing. It's a very loud jingle. It's an exceedingly loud jingle. I suppose I could mute the tab. But hey, we did the mini crossword in like 25 seconds. Yay! Glory, triumph, and victory for the _Goog. For today's immaculate grid, we need Phillies, Mets, Padres, Astros, dudes what had 20 wins in a season, and dudes what had an ERA under 3. So a Philly who also played for the San Diego Padres. That's Jamie Moyer, isn't it? No? Are we sure about that? A Philly who played for the Padres? It feels like it should be Jamie Moyer, but apparently it's not. Feels rude. All right, so we need a Philly who had 20 wins in a season. That's a lot of wins. Pedro Martinez never had 20 for the Phillies or the Mets. And he never played for the Padres or the Astros, so there will be no Pedro today. All right, a Met who won 20 games in a season is Dwight Gooden. He did it in like the 80s. And a Philly who won 20 games in a season is, man, I don't know, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, probably one of those. They were both really good and on the Phillies. See, the thing is, they were only really good and on the Phillies for like a combined 5 years. There's a big famous Phillies pitcher from our parents' lifetime who Sam never hears me mention. Well, I mean, there's a reason for that. You know, Curt Schilling probably won 20 games in a season for the Phillies. On the other hand, he's a Nazi, so he's got that going against him. On the other hand, we do use Roberto Alomar on this grid a lot, so it's not like we're opposed to terrible people. All right, fine. I'm going to be annoyed if Curt Schilling never actually won 20 games for the Phillies, but I think he did. He didn't. Mother. Did Cliff Lee? No. Okay, did Roy Halladay? Because if Roy Halladay didn't, then there's no chance I was ever going to get this. Roy Halladay did. Son of a bitch. All right, a dude who won 20 games in a season and had an ERA under... Oh, Steve Carlton. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, that tracks. Randy Johnson probably fits this bottom right corner. We like us some Jandy Ronsons. An Astro who had an ERA under 3 in a season is... Pick a reliever, any reliever. Let's go with Ken Giles. Ken Giles was 1 on the Astros and 2 good. Yeah. And then a Padre who had an ERA under 3. Also Randy Johnson for Astros, ERA under 3. Padre who had an ERA under 3 in a season is pick a reliever, any reliever. Let's say Craig Kimbrell. Craig Kimbrell was 1 on the Padres and 2 good. So there you go. Good Lord, Craig Kimbrell. What have you done to your hair and general self? That's a... Anyway. Now we must connect some teams and guys for some reason, and we've already ultra failed, so let's just say, fuck it. I think Vince Velasquez fits this top left corner, which is a hell of a pull if I'm right, and is probably wrong, but, you know, I know he was a Philly. I think he played for the Padres. He absolutely played for the Padres. Good job, Goog. Good job, Goog. See, I remember Vince Velasquez, but I can't pull Steve Carlton because I'm, you know, stupid. Lastly, I don't know, let's get a Met in here. A Met who played for the Padres is Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson was a Met, right? I don't know. Ricky Henderson played for 95 teams. Was one of them the Mets? One of them was totally the Mets. Of course it was the Mets. Hooray. So that is an attempt at Immaculate Grid. It's also possible that Steve Carlton was before my lifetime and I was never exposed to him much, but it's easier and funnier to say that I'm stupid rather than to be kind and generous to myself the way I would be kind and generous to other people. What kind of person do you think I am, Sam? Someone who's reasonably self-centered and, you know, has decent mental health and confidence? Nonsense. I had a 10-minute diatribe this morning about how I'm terrified about a slightly awkward phone call I have to have today with my homeowners association. That's the kind of person I am. I'm also, incidentally, the kind of person who is going to end this episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Thank you all so much for watching. We are looking at a full stream schedule, at least as of right now. Jobs notwithstanding, things could always change, but as of right now, it is a full slate on deck this week. We will be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Anything that comes through the door dies. Anything that comes through the door dies. Wait, I came through the door. That means I'm gonna die. That's a bad precedent. Ah! Oh my god, that shot! Oh my god! Okay. All right. Wait, are you not dead? How are you not dead? You fucking died. I saw you die. I made you die. Be dead. Be dead.